welcome back to another episode of Hops Geek News. Today, we will not have any news or what we're reading or watching. We're going to jump right into it with our guest Task, where we are discussing She-Hulk pre-episode. As always, go to our pages, Hops Geek News, on all social medias to follow us. Go ahead, search our episodes, Hops News, if you don't know where to find us. Patreon.com/HopsGeekNews is our Patreon. And make sure you go to hopsgeeknews.bigcartel.com, pre-order our latest shirt, get in our giveaway. And I hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome back, everybody. As you know, we got a really big guest. We are going to be pumping up She-Hulk because She-Hulk is coming this week when you're listening. My girl finally coming to the big screen or little screen. Depends on the size of your TV. I don't know. So we got a really great guest. Task is joining us, who we're going to get to in just a second. First things first, the beer of the week for this segment on my end is called Horchata. Not a horchata, or how you pronounce it. Come on, I don't pronounce things very well. This isn't new information to anybody in the show, but it is from Able Baker Brewing Company out of Las Vegas, Nevada. It's got cinnamon, vanilla, lactose, and it's a cream ale coming at 5.7%. And yeah, wicked good. Got some cinnamon flavors. Shout out to my man Raphael, who actually sent me this. And I can't wait to go back to this brewery in October because I'm going to go relive my emo days at when we were young. And I'm stoked. So, Lauren, what do you got?
I am ironically also drinking a vanilla cream ale, although it is an imperial, which honestly, I don't think we ever drink this style on here. It's kind of random that imperial we're both drinking
cream ale is a new one for us. Cream ale in general, yes. I think.
Yeah, cream ales, I had one that was like terrible, but for the most part, they're just, they're creamy ales. This one's from Saloon Door Brewing, sent to me by you, and Brewster Cogburn, and it is 9.6%. And it's not She-Hulk related, but it's a rooster with an eye patch, so it's definitely given me Nick Fury vibes.
That's fair.
And I got it in my incredible hops mug for just you guys to see. It's not She-Hulk.
Cool if you let me know, because I could have drank that same beer, but it's all right. We don't communicate. It's cool.
It's fine. Pretty good. But
I'm glad you like it.
I don't have a She-Hulk beer mug, but I do have a Hulk beer mug.
No, I don't either. I'm waiting for the She-Hulk Lego sets. Like, I need some She-Hulk Lego sets in my life ASAP. Like right now.
Who doesn't? You know what? We know where might have them. FanX and SaltCon. I bet they'll have the Lego booth there, which we will be at in September.
Next month, we're going to be running that show. So, like I mentioned,
we got this at MegaCon.
Oh, we do have a really good guest. Funny enough, he's also the executive producer of the 90 Day Fiancé universe. You may not know it, but Task is here. He never read a comic book. He's never read a comic book, but he is here to talk about She-Hulk with us. And Task, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, greetings and salutations, humans. This is Task, the old nerdy bastard. And yes, I am the executive producer of the 90 Day Fiancé universe because that's the only show me and my wife agree on.
It is funny. My wife, she actually got me into the show we were watching called Young and Hungry. And she got me so invested in this show. And to find out that after 5 seasons, it ended on a cliffhanger and they canceled the series. And I was so pissed off.
All bad.
I had no idea.
I tell people that about Heroes. Remember that old show, Heroes?
And then they brought Heroes back, and then it was like garbage.
It was after the writer's strike.
Yeah. I always tell people who never heard of Heroes, I tell them, don't watch that show. Don't watch it. And I was like, I was told it was good. Invested. I told them it is good. That's why you shouldn't watch it. Because the writer's strike just ruined the show. It was the ultimate definition of lightning in a bottle. And that show is so important because that was the first show that really, the merge between pop culture and superhero shit really started there because they were making all types of books about it. It was on Time magazine. This was new to me, that type of stuff. So, but anyways, greetings all. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah,
no, you're right.
Heroes was one of the first comics I read too.
See,
because it was early mid 2000s.
Yeah, it was the mid 2000s
before everything. So at that time, we had Fantastic Four movies. Sure, we had Spider-Man.
We had the X-Men movies, and we had Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
We had trash.
Everything.
All of that shit was trash. All of it is bad.
How dare you talk about Hugh Jackman as Wolverine as trash?
No. Here's the deal. Some things age well. I think the Spider-Man movies aged very well. To me,
well, other than when Spider-Man was offended about the husband comment, but yeah, it did age well.
Hey. And you know what? I'm proud of stuff like that. And let me tell you why. We can go back and look and say, wow, what a time. We were horrible. We watched that and people laughed in the theater. I remember that. I remember people laughed at that scene. And now going back, I watched it again. I was like, oh my God. And my kids will watch it.
It's hilarious. You go back and rewatch it.
I tell people, go rewatch that stuff with your kids who are like teenagers and just watch their reactions. And like I watched my kids do it. They were like, oh my God. Who would listen to this? And I'm like, yeah.
That was us. We were having a good old time back then.
I don't tell them.
You can always tell.
I'll be like, yeah, that was
my oldest definitely. Yeah, we had my oldest watch American Pie, and all she did was judge us. Oh my gosh, they're filming her without consent. I was like, oh, that's a good point. But I think you're missing the story.
Point. But what a great way to know that the children are all right. The children are good.
Yeah. She was right. She's got I'm glad you're raised correctly, at least.
Right. Called progress.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh man. So before we kind of dive into She-Hulk, let's talk about I want to talk about your comic book real quick because it's pretty interesting to me. It's along the lines of superheroes, leaders of the free world. Yes. You want to give people a rundown real quick?
Yes, real quick. Once again, my name is Task, but my superhero name is Corey Pruitt. Actually, it's the other way around. But I read a comic book, Leaders of the Free World, with my artist Eli Johnson. The whole concept is it's in a world where superheroes can only operate in their country, kind of like a military thing. So if any other country is having trouble with their superheroes, they're shit out of luck. So that's kind of the situation that happens. Yeah. But there's a reason for that. If you read the book, there's a reason why a law was placed, like no one can operate outside. And, the book starts with a situation that happens that forces the world to come together. It forces a group from all over to come together and fight. And they basically realize they're breaking the law to do so. So, it's all about making choices. Like, would you do the right thing even though you're being told it's wrong? So on and so forth. And with the way things are in this country, I think a lot of people can relate to it.
Oh, yeah. Sadly, that's super relatable. Yeah. Especially in these times. Like, God dang.
It's crazy out there.
Well, and that's a good segue into She-Hulk a little bit. I know we're going to talk a little bit more with you beforehand, but her whole thing is working in the superhuman division to protect superheroes who thought they were doing the right thing, but maybe it provided some legal negative consequences.
Absolutely. That's why She-Hulk's one of my favorite characters. The reason why I like She-Hulk so much is that she's one of the few superheroes where her personal life is almost more important than her superhero life. Like, we all know that Superman is, Clark Kent is, he writes for the newspaper. But when we read Superman comics, we're not trying to read him writing an article. You feel me? Like, we're not trying to see him do that. But with Jen Walters, with She-Hulk, I want to see her at her job. I love seeing that. That's just, to me, that's just as important as their superhero stuff. And I think that from what the trailer we've seen, they're going to tie into that.
Oh, yeah. I think it is interesting because we've not seen this. To this point, the Hulk that we got in this universe, he smashes. And now, I mean, we have Professor Hulk now, of course, but seeing somebody with that kind of power, we don't see superheroes going about their daily lives. Like Iron Man started out doing Iron Man things at corporate and non-corporate, but as the films went on, he's not working at the corporate headquarters. He doesn't go there anymore. It's all about superhero stuff. So getting to see them at their jobs while you have superpowers, living this quote unquote mundane life, that's why it appeals to me big time.
100%.
I think we're getting that. Yeah, we're getting that more so in the Disney. No, you're good. In the Disney Plus shows, it's like, like in Moon Knight, watching him, work at this museum stocking things. And then you see, Falcon trying to help his sister out and, get the boat back in shape. And you see Bucky going to therapy. So it is kind of nice to get to see because everybody, you superhero or not, everybody is multiple roles throughout the day, whether, you know, you're this at work and then you're this at home and then you're this with your friends. So it makes these characters more complex.
Absolutely. I always tell people, you know, I used to work at a comic book shop, and I have this thing where how I would like pitch a character to somebody, and I would talk to them and I'd be like, what's the first thing you think of as Superman? And he thinks, someone says flight. What's the first thing you think about Batman? They say the Batmobile. What's the first thing you think of a Wolverine? The claws. I always say, what's the first thing you think about? And I always
that's
tell
amazing. Because all three of those, that's how I answered it in my head.
That's how you answer in your head, 100%. And so I tell people, what's the first thing you think about She-Hulk? She's a lawyer. You see what happened there?
One of those things is not like the other.
Well, basically, yeah. Well, basically what it is that when we think of most superheroes, we think of their abilities. But with She-Hulk, one of the first things we think about is she's a lawyer. And so to me, I really respect that. I think it gives a different feel. And it's, you know, adding on to the MCU's big problem of not having more women. And it's all for it. You know, people always say all the time, they're making all these women shows. It's the MCU. I'm like, sign me up. What's the problem? MCU.
I've had a great time. We've had Wanda, we've had Captain Marvel, we've had Miss Marvel, and like specifically more so, Phase 4 has been dominated, and it's great. We have Yelena, Wanda, Miss Marvel,
Widow, yeah,
it started with
WandaVision,
and now we have Sylvie taking up like the reason why kind of the multiverse is cracking a bit, right? And then now we've got She-Hulk.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
yeah. So it's like we're seeing these other heroes because up to this point we've had all the men come in.
Ooh, and Photon.
Yeah, Photon. She's also going to be in the Marvels. So it's like
America
we're getting
Chavez,
a different look.
Kate Bishop.
Oh yes.
The women. Yeah, the women.
Damn.
This is the MCU. Phase 4 MCU saga. MCU saga. I'm all for it. Especially, I don't even know if you guys know the story of why it took so long for Black Widow to be made.
Wasn't it had to do with Joss Whedon?
Well, He Who Not Be Named didn't think that a woman lead would do very well, basically.
He hated on the idea of a woman superhero, and he hated the idea of black superhero.
Which is why Black Panther, yeah.
That's why I tell everybody, we all need to pump the hell out of Captain Marvel. We all need to pump the hell out of Miss Marvel just to prove old boy wrong. You know what I'm saying? So every time I see Captain Marvel make $1 billion, I was excited. I'm like, you know, more and more and more. Black Widow is criminally slept on. Taskmaster.
Yes, it really is.
It really
made me upset.
Well, it's unfortunate Black Widow didn't get a theater release too.
Man, listen.
It did.
Yeah, very limited.
Oh, because it was on. Okay, I was like, I saw it. In the
that
theater,
was the one that went direct to Disney Plus. Now, I don't. Black Widow and Captain Marvel aren't my favorite, but Marvel hasn't made a bad film, in my opinion. They haven't made a bad film. Just because it's not my favorite doesn't mean it's a bad film, in my opinion.
Right. Even Iron Man 2 is a good film.
Yeah, look, Iron Man 2 was slept on, but you're right though. I mean, Black Widow was a little slept on there and it didn't get a theatrical run, which is kind of a shame. So it's nice that now we're starting.
No, I'm with you. I think with Black Widow, it was an unfortunate situation because of COVID that came out of nowhere. Right. That fucked everything up. Can I curse?
Yeah,
of course.
Okay. I'm just making sure. Yeah, yes, ma'am. The Black. Unfortunately, that happened. I'm glad that they reached that settlement with Scarlett Johansson. That was a tough call because they actually lost money with that. But you keep the talent happy. Like that's why Feige was where he's at. He's like, keep the talent happy, you know. And then she came right back to do more Disney stuff. So
she'd been there since 2010.
She
is like a core character for the MCU at this point.
100%. I'm with you there. And you know, like she adds on to the mythos, and I'm hoping that role that is vacant because Black Widow is gone. I'm hoping either her sister Yelena fills it in, or Jennifer could fit it in. I'm a big fan of Jen Walters. You know, I always present different ways to think about characters, and always tell people what I love the most, other than her being a lawyer. This is something, and you guys can think for a little bit. I tell people this. Jen Walters, She-Hulk, is the only superhero that actually enjoys being a superhero.
Yeah.
Ooh,
and she doesn't want to. Really yeah, I have some of that in the notes we'll get to shortly where like when she got hired by the law firm, they're like, we want you in your human form. And like she didn't necessarily love that. She wanted to be in her green form.
Exactly. Yeah. She's the reverse Hulk, as in she's like, no, I want to be She-Hulk all the time. Like, no, I don't want to go back to small Jen. Like, it's the complete opposite. And that's just something I appreciate. I just love that she actually wants to be a hero. Like, other people, they're like, man, there's so much crime in the world. She-Hulk's like, fuck yeah. Like, I could just
she's like, I'm employed.
Exactly. That's 100% what it is. Also, I love that when Captain America is forming a team, he always has these certain heroes in their mind that he wants, and he usually almost always goes to She-Hulk because he knows he can depend on her, and he knows when superhero shit needs to happen. She-Hulk is like, where's that? Where's it at? She comes for the smoke. Like, she's like, no, I want the smoke.
Exactly. Like, she lives for this shit.
Like, she's just like, point me in the direction. Where are we going? Where are we going? What are we hitting? What are we smashing? That right there? All right.
Exactly.
It'll be interesting in the show, though, because I did see a clip recently where, you know, she was upset, like, oh, this is just another part of my life now that's not going to be normal. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing that at the beginning of the show, she's going to struggle with her newfound superpowers and embrace it towards the end. Is what I think we'll get. But I do think we'll see some of that initial struggle.
I mean, I saw her posing a few times in some of that, so that's probably in the later episodes.
Like the trailers.
She got to show the assets, all of them, the green ones, the green assets. She has to show it off. And, you know, God bless her. You know what I'm saying? Like, She-Hulk was my first crush as a kid. So I'm excited to see her.
Look, I am crushing hard on Tatiana Maslany.
There we go. I was going to say, can we talk about Madame Maslany real quick? Because
yes, I am crushing hardcore on her right now.
Hey, yo, check this out. I'm a married spud, but that is a beautiful woman. Straight up.
I am too. Like,
I was like, I'm need the wife to not listen to this. Many things about Jensen Ackles on this podcast, so don't you worry.
She'll make me sleep on the couch later. But Orphan Black,
I haven't seen that.
Madam,
I haven't either, actually.
Madam,
I've heard good things. That's BBC, right?
Madam, it's all on Prime Video. They have the full all the episodes. When they cast her, I didn't know who she was. And I posted on my page, and listen, all my timeline ripped me to shred. They got me out of here. They were like, what do you mean you haven't seen Orphan Black? And I was like, no, I haven't seen a single episode. I watched one episode. I finished the whole thing by the end of the week. I was like, this is amazing. Wow. This is what they got for She-Hulk? I'm like, that is a hell of a pull. And Madam, you got to watch Orphan Black. She killed that.
I've heard good
I'm about
things.
to throw it on the list.
Doctor Who just made back, I see all the
It just made the list.
Oh, have neither of you seen it?
Mm-mm.
No, I haven't seen Orphan Black at all yet.
Oh, man. Y'all sleeping. Y'all got to get on that, especially to get you hyped for the show, because she is amazing. Do you both know what it's about?
No.
I remember seeing the commercials, and it doesn't she have like a doppelganger, or she's in different costumes, or there's a memory loss? I'm really not sure.
Mixture of everything. So long story short, she finds out she's been cloned a whole bunch of times. And each clone has their own life. It's crazy. So like you forget this is all one woman acting. But she switches to 4 different personas. There's one that's a Russian assassin. There's one that's a rich mom, you know, like the uppity moms from Mean Girls. There's one like that. There's one who's a scientist.
She's a cool mom.
There's the cool mom. Yeah, exactly. The cool mom. There's the geek scientist. She has dreadlocks and she's all a hippie. And like you forget that this is all one woman acting. And so when I found that out and saw that she's doing She-Hulk, I was like, oh, perfect casting. Perfect.
Yeah.
Dang. All right. Well, I'm about to dive into that this
really
weekend
like
then, just because
nature versus nurture thing.
100%. Yes, ma'am.
That's crazy. So, well, we're on She-Hulk. Lauren, kick us off real quick. Let's dive in. Let's dive into some origins of the character in the comic books, and let's talk about our predictions and what we're hyped about for this show.
All right. So She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, coming to Disney Plus this Thursday, August 18th.
Time out. I picked this because Lauren's a lawyer too, so it just fits.
Oh. So starting, Tatiana Maslany, how we just discussed. If you have seen the poster with the phone number on it, that number works. So it's 1-877 She-Hulk. It's a recording. They're pretending to be a voicemail for the law firm. So it's the superhuman division of GLKNH. It's very informal. It has quite a few Easter eggs in it. Like if you're an Asgardian god who leaves giant imprints every time you arrive on Earth, you may need to call us. Because, Thor has no regard for, grass or whatever Tony says. Are you being sued for property damage for saving someone's life? Give us a call. It's very cute. And the law firm. So I'm hoping we're going to see Hogarth, Chow, and Benowitz in this. I'm hoping we'll get a nod to Jessica Jones. But however, the law firm that is referred to in this commercial, or when you call this number, is short for Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway. I know we've mentioned them before, but we will get to that more in a minute because those are some big Easter eggs.
Yes, ma'am.
And Matt, you want to tell us who created She-Hulk?
Yes. So a little known writer by the name of Stan Lee and artist John Buscema has created Jen Walters, aka She-Hulk. She first appeared in the Savage She-Hulk issue 1. The reason behind the creating her had to do with the success of the Incredible Hulk in the Bionic Woman television series. And then there was also a fear that if Marvel didn't create a female Hulk, the TV show would. And they didn't want their own rights. They wanted their own rights to the character. They wouldn't have otherwise. So
yeah, I was going to add to that. DC wanted to make it. I wanted to add to that. DC wanted to make a She-Hulk. They were going to do it.
Did they?
Yeah. And they cranked out She-Hulk. And that's why if you read the first appearance of her ever, that is not the one we know now. That was basically Stan Lee saying, hold up, let's get something out before anyone can take it from me.
And we've seen that with a few, like even when we talked about Moon Knight, it cracks me up that like Moon Knight's outfit is silver because his first appearance, he was given that outfit to fight a werewolf. That has nothing to do with his character now, comic book or TV. But yeah, I mean, it is interesting how they've changed some of these characters and evolved them for the better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to make sure.
Interrupt away. This is what we do. Interrupt away. Dive in, and but yeah. So her parents are William Walters. That kind of sounds like William Wallace to me, but a sheriff in LA County, and Elaine Walters. They died in an accident when she was 17. Later in life, she became an attorney until a crime boss, Nicholas Trask, shot and seriously injured her to get back at her dad. Fortunately, she has a cousin. And that cousin goes by the name of Bruce Banner. Gasp.
That's the guy from the other thing. That's the guy from the
he happened to be nearby when it happened. Like, what are the odds of that? So he gave her a blood transfusion, which also resulted in her getting Hulk powers. And her first transition was actually triggered by anger. And she was also not the brightest like Hulk. However, she was able to control it and become much more intelligent and even practice law, all the while green. So she fought crime.
Being green.
It's not. She fought crime both inside and outside the courtroom. Now, something interesting. Did you see the latest clip that they released today for She-Hulk?
Yes, I did.
Didn't.
Who do we
11-hour
prediction time? Who are we thinking? So if you didn't watch it, they're driving and Jen's in the middle of pretty much saying that Captain America's a virgin. And
aww,
that's when a ship kind of pops up out of nowhere and that causes the crash. So who are you thinking?
A ship? Like a spaceship?
Yeah, a spaceship. Who do you think is flying that ship?
Nick Fury.
It could be. Actually, it honestly could be. She didn't see the trailer, but it looks like one of the ships that was on the Grandmaster's world.
The one he does the orgies in?
Yes, actually. That is same exact one. It looks like it's one of those that shot it down. It's going to be something related to the planet that Hulk was on. I do know that Marvel does have plans for Hulk in the future. So I think that him being included in here is going to lead to a big story arc, and She-Hulk will be involved. People are saying they think it's Scar.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, in the comic that I never read, the Planet Hulk miniseries, 12 issues written by Greg Pak, was really good, from what I was told. Hulk is on this planet, and he's there for a very long time, and he's a child. He didn't know this because he left, and the lady had the child, and the child grew fast and came to Earth looking for his dad. So a lot of people are saying it's Scar. I'm going to throw a curveball at everybody, though. What if it's Hulkling?
I was just thinking that. And then we get Hulkling and Wiccan. Oh my gosh.
100%. Because we're definitely getting Hulkling and Wiccan. I presented something that people had to say, I didn't even think about that. I don't think we're getting traditional Hulkling. I don't think it. Because I love the character, but I hate something about him. He has one of the worst names in comics.
Hulkling is a bad name. Without a doubt, it is, yes.
Makes you think of like a baby Hulk.
Hulkling is not only just a horrendous name, he's not even a Hulk. He's a Skrull.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too when I learned that.
Yeah, he's just like a green. He's just green. That's about the only thing.
And the only reason why he went by Hulkling was that when the Young Avengers first came out, they came out after Disassembled. And there weren't an Avengers team. So the whole concept we're like the younger Avengers. So like that was back when Wiccan went by Asgardian and so on and so forth. There's Iron Lad, things like that. And he went by Hulkling because the whole concept was I'm trying to look like the Hulk. And that name just stuck with him. I'm like, that's cool. How do we do that in the MCU? We can't. Mm-hmm. We can't. So I could see them just doing all together. Hulkling is just a Hulk, and he is the son of Bruce Banner. I could see them going that route.
Yeah,
even though I may not agree with it.
They've done stuff like that here. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Even though I may not agree with it.
The great thing about the MCU is they take the stuff, but they twist it so the comic book fans and the non-comic book fans are both surprised, they do genuinely surprised and enjoy it. Unlike DC that just copy paste.
I was having such a good night.
I mean, they do it in different orders sometimes.
I was having such a great night.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm just laughing that the new dude. Well, yeah, but I'm just laughing that the new dude is like, what's the plan? Copy Marvel.
We got a 10-year plan. We're going to do what Marvel did.
Like, that's literally what he said.
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Like, I was weak. I've never heard the CEO of a company said, yeah, we're just going to completely bite these guys. Like, we're just gonna.
Have you watched a Marvel movie?
Exactly.
We're gonna do exactly what they did.
Was it when they started talking about writing off Batgirl? It's like have you ever seen Schitt's Creek where David's like, you just write it off? Who writes it off? I don't know. The government. They just write it off.
They just write it off. I'm an accountant for the state of California, and let me tell you, we write stuff all the time.
It's true. All the time. I see it in the government. I work for the government, and I see it all the time.
Oh yeah. Definitely. My God. It's crazy. With the whole DC thing, shout out to them. I'm hoping that they do well, but they can't get their shows together, but we get She-Hulk. So
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't even get a second Superman movie, but here we are tonight, pre-showing for a She-Hulk TV show. Like, what a world! I
remember, 10 years ago, being like, Marvel has the best movies, but man, DC TV shows are just better.
They are.
Oh boy,
they were.
I mean, they used to be.
Now all they have is Peacemaker and Doom Patrol. I like Doom Patrol.
They just announced
Doom Patrol might not be for long. Doom Patrol not for long.
I said that too last week. No.
Oh boy, we have some news.
I saw Mark Shepard at MegaCon, and he made a comment like they were actively filming it.
They're saying this current season might be its last. One of the main reasons
Lauren,
why,
now who's not having a good night? No, sorry. I was just being an asshole.
Martha.
This is one of the main reasons why. Shout out to Martha. That's the homie. Shout out to her and her son. I was, the thing is, once again, regarding Zaslav, they don't have the backing of AT&T anymore. So AT&T was like, yeah, just crank out more content. We got the money. We got the money for it. They don't have that anymore. So unfortunately, some things might not make it, except for the Flash movie and the Alfred Pennyworth show.
Oh, that's still happening? The Alfred Pennyworth
no, it's
show?
Batman's butler. It's Pennyworth, Batman's butler.
Yeah, but it's on like what, Star? It's on like a network nobody has.
HBO Max now exclusive. They got it off Stars. They got it off Epic. I think it was Epic. Yeah, and when it came over, they changed the name
on season 3. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I don't care.
Season 3.
I'm like, dude, when people say shit like, "Oh, Marvel's giving a show to this person," "Oh, Marvel's giving a show to Agatha Christie," I'm like, my dear brother in Christ, we're going on season 3 of Batman's Butler. If Batman's Butler can get
nobody has
seasons,
a better story than Alfred Pennyworth.
Listen, if Alfred Pennyworth can get 3 seasons, God damn it, give me my witch show. A show about a witch. I'm already more invested.
Listen, all respects to Alfred, but I just don't need 3 seasons of Alfred ever. I don't.
About a cartoon about Batman's
he's got a good backstory, though.
Yeah, I don't. Oh my god.
He's gotta have a good backstory. I liked him in Gotham. It seemed like he had to have a good backstory. The one from Gotham.
Oh man!
But
fun time.
Yeah. All right. So let's go back.
So let's dive in some more backstory for She-Hulk here.
Yes. All right. So we got some random fun facts. So she has dated Wyatt Wingfoot. I always like to say the dated ones because it's nice to see the ties with some of the characters we don't know yet, and some of the characters we're very familiar with. She also dated Luke Cage, and she dated John Jameson, who is the guy that MJ left at the altar in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. She-Hulk's been a part of many organizations. Or teams, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four. She actually replaced the Thing for a little bit. She's been part of Heroes for Hire, and she was the lawyer for Heroes for Hire. She's been part of the Defenders and S.H.I.E.L.D. In a 2004 run by Dan Slott, she was actually fired from her law firm and fired from the Avengers for being a bit too rowdy. And here's where we go into more of the law firm I had mentioned before when they said GLK&H. Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway. Goodman is for Martin Goodman. Lieber is for Stanley Lieber, which was Stanley's original name before he changed it. Kurtzberg for Jack Kirby, formerly Jack Kurtzberg. So those are some awesome Easter eggs right there. And this law firm specialized in superhuman law. And she was required, though, to work as Jennifer, not She-Hulk, as I mentioned before. So the law firm was started in Manhattan, and Holden Holloway, one of the founders, grew interested in the field because his teenage daughter, Sasha Martin, became a super criminal called Southpaw, which made me think of Popclaw. And I wonder if that name was after her. An employee of the firm was Stu Cicero, and he was an archivist who maintained their research library for Marvel comic books. So in said library, there are, and this is a quote, licensed publications depicting actual superhero events and issues approved by the Comics Code Authority, bracket, which, end bracket, are even admissible as legal documents in court since the comic book code is federal agency, end quote. And that's from Marvel.com. And I love that so much. So what that means is similar to what we saw in, actually, did we see it in The Boys, or maybe it's just The Boys comic book? Sometimes I get confused. So in The Boys comic book, remember the legend who Paul Reiser played? In the comic books, he runs a comic book shop, and they have a lot of comic books where they take a superhero event that happened with the boys or with another soup, and then they make it look good and put it in a comic book, and you buy those comic books. So kind of how like we saw in Logan, where Wolverine's like, okay, part of this is true. So it's kind of the same thing. So in the comic books, you have these comic books that show like what happened, and they're able to be used as federal precedent because they're approved by the Comic Code, which is a federal agency. I thought that was awesome. I don't know if that's because I went to law school, but I just thought that was really cool.
You're a lawyer, but you're not green.
I'm a really good lawyer.
That's a great response. That's a great response. And I'm so glad that they're bringing Daredevil in.
Yes, I was about to say.
I was concerned about that because the She-Hulk, Daredevil comics are just great. Usually they're on the opposing sides. So I'm hoping to see something of that. That's like almost like a tradition between those characters. They just have to meet.
Yeah.
And
I feel like we're only going to get a glimpse of him.
You think so?
I think it's going to be a tease because he's getting his own show.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm wrong. Because the
creator
Charlie
of the
Cox's
show said
Daredevil.
that this, like, him coming into this we're in for a treat, basically. So I feel like he's probably in this a decent amount from what I would assume,
if anything,
just by that alone.
Charlie's down for whatever. And this is something that, you know, I'll just toot the Marvel horn again. What separates Marvel actors from DC actors is that when the Marvel actors, they become who they are.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Brie Larson is Captain Marvel.
Bro, what are you talking about? Ezra Miller's the Reverse Flash. Haven't you been keeping up?
Fair. But just stuff like that. Look at Iman from Miss Marvel. Like, that is Kamala Khan.
She is adorable. She is Miss Marvel. Yeah.
Protect her at all costs. Like, protect her. She needs to be protected.
Seriously, she is a treasure.
Right. Oscar Isaac can't stop talking about Moon Knight. Different things like that. Like, it's crazy to me. And you know how, like, they find these people who become these characters. And that is something that Charlie Cox has done. Like, he's like, no, I am Daredevil. Like, no, I am Daredevil. Everybody, when that show was canceled, everybody went and got new work except for Charlie. I noticed that. I was like, I don't see Charlie in anything.
That's true. I haven't seen him in anything at all.
I heard a rumor. I don't know if it's true, but I heard a rumor he had a hard time getting cast as other things because he kept, like, playing it blind and wouldn't make eye contact with people.
I could see that.
I'm guessing that's probably a BS rumor that's like funny. Ha, ha, ha. But it's like, I look at a picture of him and I don't know. It looks like he's not looking directly at the camera, but that might just be what I'm looking for. Sometimes when I see an interview
with him, I'm like, why is he looking at me? It's weird. I still feel weird with it. So, but you're right. Again, that attests to him he's literally Matt Murdock.
Yeah. I don't see him doing anything else. I see him doing pretty much like how RDJ was with Iron Man. Like, whatever you need, I'm here.
And why wouldn't you? Like, you get to play a superhero and then ride that Marvel train. I would. Look at Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth's doing the same thing.
My question, though, is, are they going to do something in this, or if not in this, they have to do it when he gets his own show, where they confirm that the Netflix Daredevil is 616? Because if he is, then that means Jessica Jones is, and that means the guy who's playing Blade is Cottonmouth, and that means Luke Cage is. And do we have to bring that Danny Rand back?
No, that Danny Rand can go away. I'll be clear with you. As long as we get Charlie and John Bernthal, I'm okay.
Without a doubt.
We need some Punisher in this.
I'm okay with
Midnight Suns Punisher. Oh my God.
Now here's the deal. With Punisher, I tell people ask me all the time, are we going to get Punisher back? I say, if we do, he's not going to be the same Punisher.
So you think it'll be but then the whole thing has to be a different universe.
I mean, no. It could still be him. It's just, I think they're trying to get Punisher away from the gun.
Yeah.
Oh, good luck with that.
Well, just like in the comics right now, he's a ninja.
There you go. You notice
ninja
that?
In the comics right now?
Yeah, because there's a certain demographic of shitty human beings out there that have adopted.
Right, I heard they took his logo, and that's why they changed it.
Yeah, he's changed it. He's a ninja. He uses swords.
Let's be clear. The creator of the Punisher hates the character so much and speaks about it on his Twitter very vocally about that is the worst thing he ever did. He wants nothing to do with the character. He said that they have ruined him. He said that he was walking down the street one day. He saw 3 people with Punisher logos, and he wanted to bark. Like, he's like, you guys ruined my character. Matter of fact, when last year in 2020, when Black Lives Matter was a big thing, he paid people to redesign the Punisher logo with Black Lives Matter in it. Like, you can go to his Twitter page and see it. Like, with respect to him, I could see them being like, yeah, let's rebrand him. And I hate the idea of him being on Midnight Suns. I did not like that because he's never been a Midnight Sun. He's
not at all. If you look at the Midnight Suns, he doesn't belong.
He doesn't even fit the aesthetic. But my thing is, someone convinced me. They're like, what if he's a Punisher for monsters? Ooh. Like, what if he punishes vampires? What if he punishes witches? What if he punishes... He's just an all-around monster hunter. I'm like, that could fit a rebrand.
He's a hunter from Supernatural is what you're saying. He's a Winchester.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah, just have him driving around, pop the trunk. And the team, he's the only, like, human, like, he's the Han Solo. He's like, what's going on here? I know nothing about any of this stuff. I'm like, dude, that's a great rebranding. That's just me, though.
I'd be okay with that. Well, because it's like they had no idea. Like these people they clearly didn't read a Punisher comic book, because if they did, then they would know that like the skull does not represent what they think it does, and it doesn't look badass.
Matter of fact, he takes out people who kill with his Punisher,
right.
with his logo.
Well,
but
the recent comic that came out actually with him is him killing a Proud Boy. So like it's kind of poetic justice. I love it. He kills a Proud Boy in his most recent comic book. So it's great.
Man, that's letting you know. The Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon, rest in peace, Steve Dillon, run, the beginning one, Welcome Back, Frank. They did a whole thing about there's a bunch of people getting together, they're killing people, and they're like, yeah, we're the Punisher. And then Punisher shows up, and they're like, yeah, you're going to lead us. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to lead you straight to hell. He starts like floating up. He's like, wait, we're doing this in your name. And he said, yeah, exactly. That's why I'm taking you out. I'm taking all of you out.
How many people have killed in the name of the religion? It's the same,
Oh, God.
You nailed it. Actually, one of them was a preacher. So, like, they covered all the bases. And it's so funny to me that Garth Ennis covered that like 20 years ago. And we're still having that problem. So... But I don't want to get too far off of She-Hulk, but Daredevil being in it is that's a good sign. Because another thing that makes Jennifer Walters great is when she's with other characters. I think that's where she shines the most. One thing that's funny about the Dan Slott She-Hulk run, it was running along the same time Uncanny X-Men was being written by Steve. We don't talk about him. Steve Austin, a.k.a. one of the worst comic book writers.
Just
to throw you some ideas that he threw out there. Iceman can make his body out of human piss.
Ew.
Gambit is actually blind. What else? Nightcrawler's dad is Satan.
Yeah, none of it made sense at all.
Bullshit. I'm like, dude, he just looks like a devil. He's not a devil.
But it's supposed to be like irony that because he's exactly.
Concept of him.
Like, that's the whole concept of Nightcrawler is he's religious. Like,
and people judge him for how he looks, even though that has nothing to do with him.
Even though he's not one. That is the point. But one of the things that he did, he had She-Hulk smash Juggernaut.
Yes. She ripped Vision in half.
That pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah, she ripped Vision in half.
They're like, you're just going to fuck your cousin's enemy? Like, what? Who writes this shit? So Dan Slott created a whole story about how there was a cloned Jennifer Walters running around. And he did that story completely just to say She-Hulk never had sex with Juggernaut.
That's the one thing I love about Dan Slott is because he's kind of known. Yeah, he's known as like the guy who writes Spider-Man, but he's also done She-Hulk, and he just gets it, man. Like some people just understand.
Great shit. I would recommend, even though I never read them, I would recommend his Thing run.
Yes,
Kill the Thing run. I would also recommend. He did a Great Lake Avengers mini. That was absolutely fantastic. Dan Slott has done a lot for the culture. He's not everyone's favorite person because he's like me. Like, he'll tell you how he feels. Like,
oh yeah,
I'll just tell you how I feel and whatever. Like, deal with it. So I respect it. But yeah, his She-Hulk run was fantastic. The current She-Hulk run with Rainbow, fantastic stuff. I'm glad that Shoki's getting a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, you're right. So like that's the one thing I love about him is he'll just like tell you. And that's why I follow him pretty good on, like, some people got notifications on Twitter. He's one of them just cause again, he's one of us. And so
yeah,
it's just great.
Well, I thought it was interesting. If you go to follow him, he has to approve you. And that's probably because he speaks his mind. So he's making sure he doesn't get those bots and like the people that are clearly just there to troll.
Yeah,
and bring nothing good to the conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's not, of course they did.
Not a cold king for him. And, you know, people say that he's a punk for doing that. I see it like this. Protect your peace. You have to protect your peace.
Yeah, I don't think he's a punk at all for that.
If whatever you got to do to protect your peace, go ahead and do that. Like, whatever. Like, you know, when people say, man,
Corey, anybody anything.
Like, what? Oh, man, say that again. Say it again.
He does not owe anybody anything.
1,000%. And, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, people block me too because they don't like my opinions. That's fine. They tell me, how do I feel about that? I said, look, man, if me speaking about fictional characters upsets you, block away, bro. Block away. Protect your peace. Protect your peace. I'm always down for that, whoever it is.
Well, speaking of, let's getting back to it. Speaking of people who are appearing in She-Hulk. Now,
wait, we still got some She-Hulk.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, fine.
Sorry, go ahead.
Finish up. Sorry.
And then we'll go into Friends of She-Hulk. No, because I want to talk about what's her face from The Good Place too. So some employees that actually lived in the law building, which was Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway, and it's called the Excelsior Apartment Building, which is located in Timely Plaza. So Timely is actually... that was previously Marvel Comics, Timely Comics. So lots of little Easter eggs here. But this building is equipped with high-tech defenses such as force fields, as well as special devices designed to facilitate interactions with their non-human clients. And I think we're going to see that, like, you know, we're going to see Abomination as a client. So I'm sure we will see some of that in the show. They've had many clients, including, but not limited to, Hercules, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and Howard the Duck. I still need to watch that too. The 90s Howard the Duck. I was talking about that with some friends this weekend. And like one of them was like, oh yeah, I used to love that movie when I was a kid. It's the weirdest fucking movie there is.
Yeah, a woman tries to have sex with a duck.
Not just any woman, Leah Thompson.
The goddess.
Marty McFly's mom. At one point, Titania actually destroyed Timely Plaza before She-Hulk could stop her. And we will get into Titania more shortly because she is one of the main characters from She-Hulk. Okay, the same year as Dan Slott's She-Hulk run, in the Avengers number 500, under the influence of Wanda, She-Hulk lost control and ripped Vision in two, which you actually just said. Vision was being controlled by Ultron at this time. In this run, she was also offered a job by Magistrati, the cosmic enforcers of law and order throughout the multiverse. While working for Magistrati, She-Hulk was instructed in universal law by the Living Tribunal, one of Marvel's most powerful abstract entities. At one point, she defeated a furry alien, again, these are random fun facts here, named Zemnu by convincing a bigger alien that Zemnu was a teddy bear that it could play with. She-Hulk did once beat Hercules in arm wrestling, and Hercules is now in the MCU. Maybe we'll see them get together and arm wrestle one day. She-Hulk was once mind-controlled by Titania and the Absorbing Man with microscopic nanites. She then joined them in rampaging through New York. I don't know if we'll see microscopic nanites in She-Hulk, but we'll see. She-Hulk, with Alpha Flight, Hulk and others, she once helped stop an apocalypse that was started by Mayan gods. Not Apocalypse, the person, but an apocalypse. Or the mutant, not the person. During the superhero civil war, while She-Hulk and Iron Man are on the same side, Tony ends up manipulating her to make it easier to send the Hulk off-world. He uses nanobots to inhibit her power, so she then sues him, which I find hilarious, and apparently that case is still pending. My last fun fact on She-Hulk is Jacinda the Skrull is Jennifer's bounty hunting partner at one point.
Nanobots.
That's what I got.
Courtesy
You want to take
of
us
Palmer
to
Tech.
Palmer Tech?
You remember
Wrong
it?
universe.
I know. But speaking of people returning,
More it's Stark Tech in this.
We've neglected an entire I'm going to say 2 films, but really we neglected an entire film, which this film doesn't get enough love. Okay, it's 2008's The Incredible Hulk. Was it 2008? I believe it was. So with Edward Norton, we just completely ignored Betty Ross. But at least we're acknowledging Tim Roth and Abomination. So like Abomination's coming back. How do y'all feel about getting some love for Abomination coming back?
I'm for it.
I'm all for it. It's good to know that Incredible Hulk is canon. Because that was always been a big question to people. Like, is this canon? Is this not canon? I'm hoping now with Emo Blonsky returning that we can also get that dude who was obviously the leader coming back. I'd like to see him come back and just I will say this exclusively here. This will not be the last time we see Abomination.
That's true. Well, we saw him in Shang-Chi, which, by the way, Shang-Chi, if you're sleeping on Shang-Chi, we got to go out back and have a talk right now because that is a top 5 Marvel movie right there.
But we only saw him as Abomination. We're going to see him as Emil Blonsky or whatever his name is in She-Hulk because we saw him in his human form.
We're not only going to see him in his human form, but it looks like they're in a therapy session.
Yes. And he also looks like he's in a cage. And one thing that you'll notice...
The cage from Avengers.
If you go back to Shang-Chi, when him and Wong are fighting. When he opens the portal, you could see inside, and that same cage. There's a cage in the portal, and that same cage is what he's in She-Hulk. So whatever's going on with Abomination, Wong is involved some way, somehow.
Yeah.
Yes. This is where
but it does look similar to the one that they designed to keep Hulk in that Loki ended up in.
Yeah.
100%.
But still, this is just Wong's MCU, and we're just kind of living in it right now. And I'm all for Wong taking over the MCU personally. But
he's been in
maybe
4 movies.
The man is everywhere.
Yeah, he's been in a lot. That's a trivia question somewhere. How many movies has Wong been in?
He's been in 4 just as phase. He was in No Way Home. He was in Shang-Chi at the end. He was in Multiverse of Madness. 3 movies in a show. Now he's in She-Hulk. Like, the man is busy.
The man is the Supreme. He's this, the man's keeping it busy.
He's the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah. How bold of Marvel to do that. That was a bold move to be like, he's going to stay the Sorcerer Supreme. I was like,
they were like,
right.
They teased you like, no, we got Doctor Strange as Sorcerer Supreme. Okay, he lost it for like 2 seconds. He's going to get it back. No, this man is still the Sorcerer Supreme right now.
We've gotten multiple punchlines out of it.
Yes.
That was great because that was bold to be like, no, he's the Sorcerer Supreme. Like, Doctor Strange is still Doctor Strange, but he's the Sorcerer Supreme.
I'm all about it. So, Task, what can you tell us about Titania? Oh God, I suck with name pronunciations.
Titania?
Yes.
That's my best guess as to how to say it.
Titania was a character that was created in the original Secret Wars comic. Dr. Doom gave her, and Volcana, who I'm shocked I don't see. Maybe she's in the show. Titania, he gave her powers, and he gave Volcana powers. I don't know if they're going to go that route for this show. But it's good.
That'd be amazing.
I mean, okay. Doom's coming. Just wait on it. He's coming. Yeah. People keep asking me, is Doom coming? I'm just going to tell you, yeah, he's coming.
He'll be here before Mephisto.
Who? Who's Mephisto? I never heard that name before. I
mean, rumors are he could be showing up in Black Panther, which I am all for.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. Namor, Doctor Doom, and Black Panther have history. They're kings.
Yes.
Sovereign nations. So that could definitely be a possibility. Jamil.
God, she's
I'm
perfect.
a big fan. The Good Place. What an incredible show.
Such a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Hell of a pull by Marvel. Next to Iman, actually, I'm going to say more than Iman. I've never
She's
seen
embracing this.
I've never seen anybody like so excited to be in the Marvel universe. Like
just following. Yeah.
That's all she talks about now. That's all she talks about is that she's in a Marvel movie. And what's crazy is like, I'll just be having conversations and she'll just hop in my Twitter convo and just start talking with us about it. Like,
oh wow.
Yeah, she's done that a few times. And like, shout out to her. Like, she has her ear to the streets. She's seeing what the people are talking about. And I appreciate that because that means that she's listening and that she would be open to like hearing what we have to say. I just hope we get more of her and not just in She-Hulk.
I would be shocked if, like, especially with how excited she is, I'd be very shocked if she's a one-off in She-Hulk.
Maybe.
I think they're going to make her character more badass than in the comics. Because in the comics, she's kind of like she was a weak kid and she was bullied and then she wanted her revenge. And I think she's going to be way more powerful and whatnot in the show.
She kind of beats cancer, gets her ass kicked by She-Hulk and with one punch at one point. So I think they're going to go a different direction with this.
The Power Stone.
Right.
100%. But yeah, shout out to her. I hope we see more Titania. Maybe, and how do I say this? Maybe with Justice like lightning.
Ooh.
Like maybe, Thunderbolt in the sky, maybe.
Little known movie that's going to cap off Phase 5, perhaps a little.
Thunderbolts and lightning. That sounds very, very frightening.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. But yes, I'm hoping we see more of her. They're pushing her very, very hard. She has a character poster. The way that, she's presenting things and showing things online, it seems like she's showing up a bunch throughout the show. So
yes, it really does.
Mm-hmm. And she's very excited to be there. And when I see the actors being excited for it, that makes me excited for it. So I've really been excited for it.
Same here. I mean,
it's learned when the actors aren't excited, it's usually bad.
Oh, come on.
Shout out to Ben Affleck.
But it's true. It's true. You see these these actors who actually want to be there. They don't look like they're being held hostage, and they're just having a fun time with it all.
Yeah. If you haven't, I watched the Assembled episode. Those you don't know on Disney.
I love those.
Oh, they're so great. I appreciate that each one is done differently. I really appreciate that. If you haven't watched the one for Miss Marvel, I would highly recommend it. I'm like, this was like a family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see stuff like that. Like, I want to see more of that stuff. Like, I see the stuff on the TV. That's cool. Show me how y'all made it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that really excites me. And watching that one, I was like, wow, just the way that, they are. And it was unfortunate that the brothers who did that show lost Batgirl, but Miss Marvel's always there.
Yeah. Well, I think it was unique too at that show. One, because it was a lot of them were younger kids. So I think younger kids are obviously going to bond a little bit quicker. Mm-hmm. But two, they said they were all living basically in the same building because of COVID.
Yeah.
So if anybody, I mean, we're always recommending the Assembled shows. I mean, we have a Geeks Fun Facts podcast. So, we love, going behind the scenes. But again, seeing Amon, how giddy, I mean, she's just...
Well, she carries that journal around with her everywhere she talks about too, that's crazy.
She had a handmade Miss Marvel costume for Halloween a few years ago. I mean, like, you don't get much better than that. I mean, we've seen Tom Holland in his little Spidey costume too. I mean, that's just, it's perfection.
Yeah. You're seeing these actors who are big, like there's a lot of big name people that are joining the MCU. Christian Bale joined the MCU. Yeah, sure. He was Batman. But he's joining He's joining the MCU to play a character that's
a villain
who's only showing up in one movie. Spoiler alert. So it's like,
I wanted more of him as Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah, that's the pool of Marvel right now, right? People are just having fun, and in turn, it's translating to the screen, which is making things fun for us, the fans.
100%.
we're living, we're breathing this. Yeah. We read these comic books, right? We all picture in our heads. And I know there's a whole thing out there like, oh, Marvel fatigue. I'm fatigued. But me?
I think the only ones who are fatigued are the people doing the CGI and stuff on the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
I think they're fatigued.
I'm having a good fucking time right now.
As an audience member, I am fine.
Somebody who doesn't work on these films and just enjoys these movies and TV shows. I'm 100%. Having a great time right now.
Shout out to Christian Bale. I tell people all the time, the reason why they're able to get characters like him, because let's be clear, these people are actors. They love the art of it. And it's not weird or out of pocket for them to be like, I want to be a part of the biggest franchise in existence. I want my name to be associated with that in the biggest franchise of anything in history. And,
ever.
Yeah, and what's great about that is that Christian Bale could show up, dress up, look weird, act a role that he's probably never going to do again because people never ask for him to be villain, have fun, get paid, and never have to do it again.
Yeah.
It's like, I did my time, I put 2-3 months of work in, and I'm done, and I'm out. And the best part about doing Marvel films, endorsement deals. He gets a piece of that. Gore merchandise, that he gets a piece of that. Like, what's wrong with money? People want to get paid.
It makes the world go around.
100%.
Who was the guy that played Red Skull? The one who he was like, and then like he was like, I did my one and I'm done, and he wouldn't even come back for
That's right.
Yeah, they brought back Aaron Ross Marquand.
Yeah, I want his niece in the MCU so badly. Samara Weaving. I don't know if y'all know.
I didn't really. I never knew. Yeah, she's in the Babysitter movie on Netflix. She's a killer actress. I never knew that was his niece.
I want you to do something real quick. I want you to do something. Just imagine her face. That's him.
It does make sense now. Honest to God, it makes a lot of sense now. You're right.
I didn't think that too.
She is such a good actress.
Oh, she's great. She's 100%. She was my Elsa Bloodstone. I'm like, I want her as Elsa Bloodstone. Have you seen her in Ready or Not?
Yes, that's the movie I was thinking of. I was just thinking of that movie.
After I saw Ready or Not, I'm like, oh, that's Elsa Bloodstone right there.
Yeah.
But I could probably see her uncle like, no, we're not getting
He's like, the Marvel's awful.
And what's great is that she's a Margot Robbie clone. She looks just like Margot Robbie. And she's also Australian.
Yes. Well, it's crazy too. Speaking of that, like speaking of kids, some of these actors that take these roles, it's because their kids tell them to as well.
Yeah.
And that's also pretty badass.
Christian Bale's
I love when you hear that.
Christian Bale's kids were one of the kids that were in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, Christian Bale, his kids were in there.
Taika's kids were in there.
Portman's kids were in there. Taika's kids, like everybody had kids in this movie, and that's what's awesome too.
Yeah, and the girl at the end is Chris Hemsworth's actual daughter.
Yes.
How can I hate on that? Thor: Love and Thunder gets a lot of crap. I tell people
I love that movie.
I liked it, but I can 100% understand why people are kind of cool off of it.
Oh, for sure.
I say it like this. It's the Fast and Furious of the Marvel film. It's like
that's dumb, stupid fun. I love Fast and Furious.
It's dumb, stupid fun. Who cares? Yeah. None of this shit makes sense. None of it makes sense. There are giant ghosts that fly and they scream. Great. Fantastic.
I heard somebody say that this was Korg's interpretation of the events. And I loved that.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. I'm gonna make y'all feel sad for a little bit. It's a good thing. I'll make y'all feel sad. Taika is so good at hiding secret things that he doesn't explain, but you might catch later. There's an important scene in Thor: Love and Thunder when Thor finds Sif, and Sif is getting ready to die, and she says, "I'm going to Valhalla." And he says, well, you have to actually...
just your arm is.
Well, he said you actually have to die in battle to go to Valhalla. And you didn't die in battle. What people didn't catch, because Natalie Portman went to Valhalla.
But she didn't die in battle.
Or did she?
She died fighting.
She died fighting cancer.
Fuck, dude. Dang.
She lost her battle to cancer. So that was.
See, I just assumed because she was actively fighting. Because like Hemdale, that wasn't a battle. Thanos just boarded their ship and slaughtered them.
That's a good.
But he went out fighting.
Yeah, but he went out. He got stabbed.
Dang.
He got stabbed. Sif was okay. She was just laying there.
She had an arm missing. That was it. Yeah.
You're gonna be okay.
That's a good cut. That's some deep. That's a good
You're
pull.
gonna be just fine. She's like, damn it. We need more Sif. I hope we get more.
We do.
Give me a Sif and Valkyrie show.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think she called for that too.
Valkyrie. Yeah, I posted
Because last
that.
time we had even seen her was Agents.
Yeah.
And like, where the hell's she been?
She got that show. That's what happened.
I know, with all the tattoos.
Yeah. She got that show, Blind Spot. And right when Blind Spot ended, she's like, hey, Sif's still alive.
You're like, well, we can kind of kill you.
Get the bag, whatever it is. So I would love to see a movie, a show, because I called Falcon and Winter Soldier. I was like, dude, like this is like 4 years ago. I said, when they said they're doing shows, I was like, give me a Falcon and Winter Soldier show. Like I would watch that. And sure enough, we got
Oh my gosh. It's just a buddy cop comedy the two of them could
Nailed
do.
it. Give me a Valkyrie and Sif show. Make it take place in New Asgard. And make it be basically Sif readjusting to life. You know? Because like she wasn't there when Asgard was destroyed. She wasn't there for Ragnarok at all. And she probably knows about the Valkyries. And she knows about, like this Valkyrie and so on and so forth. Like, dude, I would watch that once again.
Same.
Mm-hmm. But you need a Rocket cameo trying to steal her new arm.
I feel like Sif is so badass. She just rocked the one arm.
Yeah, she might.
That's
she was
true.
doing, and I guess
She
towards
was.
the end of the movie, she was,
She a
That
warrior.
was good.
Like, I'm good.
Maybe Rocket will try to sell her an arm because he has spare ones.
So
I like how you
as we wrap up, I want to know predictions. What do you guys think's going to happen in this show? What do you guys hope to see in this show?
Ladies first.
I hope to see Daredevil.
Well, I mean, that's foregone. Give me something fresh. I need some fresh content.
No, I hope to see Jessica Jones. That's who I want to see. Any kind of nod to Jessica Jones or even Luke Cage. I loved both of them, and they both dealt with Hogarth. Is Hogarth still alive, or did she die? She was dying, but I don't think she died.
I don't remember.
Good God, I need to rewatch those. Jessica Jones is a private investigator. Lawyers sometimes use private investigators, even if they're not supposed to. And I want Jessica Jones, and it better be Kristen Ritter. If it's not Kristen Ritter,
I don't see who else they would get to play.
I'm starting a petition.
I don't think they get anybody else. Unfortunately, Kristen Ritter she just signed on to do an Orphan Black series. So,
oh wow,
yeah. I don't know. Maybe she could still do cameos.
That's
so
true.
on and so forth. Why not?
Maybe she's in phase 6. I don't know.
It's really selfish, but anytime I see a Marvel actor in anything else, it's like with the Sif thing, I get like worried. Like I saw Mike Coulter and something on like, when you turn your Fire Stick on, and I was like, he should be playing Luke Cage.
What are you doing? Cheating on me right now.
Do you think we'll get Rosario Dawson?
I like that energy. She could show up. She's on the Disney payroll right now. Like
exactly. She's already filming Ahsoka. Yeah. Just walk to the next lot.
Just walk to the next studio right next door.
Yeah, right. That's actually that's a good pull.
I want to see Frogman #1. Shout out to Frogman.
Yes.
I want to see more on Abomination. Of course, we want to see Wong. And last but not least, I want She-Hulk to get a proposal to be in the Avengers. I want it to end with, we need a Hulk. We don't have a Hulk right now.
Who do you think will present her with that? You think we'll see Colby Smulders, or you think we'll see Samuel L. Jackson?
I don't think it's going to be Colby. I think it's going to be Wong. I think Wong is getting the team together, man. I'm going to tell you my prediction. I think that we're getting our version of the Illuminati.
Ooh.
I can't get out of my head at the end of Shang-Chi, at the post-credit scene, like he's speaking to like this group, and I'm like, why are they together like this? Like, what is this going on? It seems like it's very covert.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm wondering if that's gonna be this version of the Illuminati, and I refuse to call this the 616 universe. That's not how this works. Not how this works. I don't give a shit what any of them say. This is not how this works. I put my foot down there. I usually let my MCU cook. I usually let them, okay, we're changing Miss Marvel's powers, okay. Hela is Loki's sister instead of his daughter. That's weird.
Yeah.
Weird, but okay, I'll roll with it. This one, no, that is not the 616.
Not a fucking chance.
No, that's not how this works. That's not.
Oh, man.
We can't have two 616s.
No,
we can't have two of them. There's only one. It's like the Highlander.
There can only be one. But there were multiple Highlanders, and if they didn't have to kill each other.
There could be only one.
It's true.
But really, only the one guy thought that. The rest of them were fine with each other.
You know what? This is not a Highlander podcast. I could go off for an hour.
You're right.
So I'm just going to say, yes, ma'am.
I will say,
I watched Highlander for the first time recently, and I was like, wait, Sean Connery and the other dude were fine with two Highlanders.
Oh.
It's only the angry guy that's the bad guy and everything.
There can be only one.
Madam, you're asking too many questions. There can be only one. That's the rule. That's the rule that they made. And so with the 616, there can be only one. We can't have two.
That I agree with. But there can be only one. True. I agree with that.
Yes, ma'am.
I do think that we're going to get a cameo. That's a surprise cameo. Whether it's Jessica Jones, whether it's Rosario Dawson, I think
I'm going for Night Nurse now. It's Rosario Dawson.
I do think there's going to be somebody that we're like, oh, what? We had no idea. And I think this show is going to be a lot more important than people think too. I just have that feeling about it. It's gonna, I know we're wrapping up phase 4 with Wakanda Forever. So I think as we do that, because this is the final Marvel show before that happens, I think this is going to be a very important show that kicks us off into phase 5 for the phase 5 TV shows. And so, I'm excited.
I think
Tatiana has said,
go ahead, Ms.
I was just going to say real quick. She has said to expect a comedy, and that her character is more like Elle Woods than other potential lawyer. Like somebody compared it to Ally McBeal, and she's like, it's more like Elle Woods.
I love it.
Nice.
I'm in love.
Something I would like to see too that we're kind of getting to, Damage Control. I'm going to make a prediction right now on this show first. I think Damage Control are going to be how we get Sentinels.
Oh, Sentinels. Yeah, Sentinels. That's a really good point. That's actually really good.
We can't have those before we have mutants, though. Oh, we do have mutants.
We do. We do.
Now we have mutants.
That's a really
They're
good
chasing
point.
them. They're chasing them down. They're shoot first, ask questions later. They're already using robotics. I'm like, this screams Sentinels.
It does. It does.
Gosh, I didn't even think of that, because when I think Sentinels, I think X-Men.
Of course.
It's true.
Of course. That's just my prediction. I'm open to being wrong about it. But
I think it makes no sense.
Yeah, after they revealed that she was a mutant, I'm like, okay, so all of that they were doing, because I thought they were doing too much. I'm like, you guys are kicking down doors of mosques. You guys are like attacking kids at a kid's school. Like, this is Sentinel shit. What they do to the kid means, aha, that's what I said, aha. And the Sentinels were sponsored by the government. That was the government making it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the government who does damage control. Just a thought.
But they made it seem at the end that the one woman was like
bait and switch,
going against what they were saying.
Well, exactly. They won't do it. Why send your robots out?
I think that
they've got the precedent set with Ultron, as we've seen robots. They've got the blueprint.
And what if?
Yeah. So I don't know. Task, as we wrap up, man, let people know where they can find you if they've been living under a rock on the social media.
What's up, man? It's your boy Task. You can find me online on Twitter, up to Task, or just go to any comic book fan page. They're probably insulting me, telling me I ain't shit. I'm okay with it. I love it all.
That's because you don't read comic books.
I don't. That's why I'm like, I don't know why they're mad at me. I don't read these things, but okay. Also, check out my comic, Leaders of the Free World. You can just Google it. It'll pull up everything. I'm also on Instagram, Elevated Comics, where you can learn more about my comic book stuff. Because I write them, I don't read them.
That's right. You only write, don't read, and that's the way it should be because you don't know shit, and keep it that way.
Yes, sir.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us, man. It has been great. And She-Hulk's about to premiere. So let us know what your predictions are. And as always, make sure you find our shows by searching Hops News. Go to Hops Geek News. That's where you can find any of our, just come on Twitter. I'm out there acting a fool. Lauren's out there on Instagram doing her thing. And follow us by our link there. Go ahead. Patreon, same thing. We got a shirt that we just dropped for sale until Friday. So go ahead and find our link, our giveaway for that. I've got a couple things to give away for you. Paper Girls issue 1, a couple Funkos. So
good.
Hit us up.
Read everything Brian K. Vaughan.
Yes. People, I slept on this comic run for too long, and now the show's
Everybody
out.
did. Everybody did.
It's fantastic. I can't say enough.
I still haven't read it.
It's great. It is.
I bought a shirt. Am I entered into the running?
Well, of course. No. Wait. We're doing it. We both bought shirt. You got to pimp yourselves like nobody else is.
I want that Falcon pop though. There's a Falcon pop, and it's Cap Falcon, and you got Baron Zemo.
It's Captain America and a Baron Zemo with Paper Girls issue 1 that we're giving away. And just go ahead and leave us an Apple review by searching Hops News. And if you don't want to do that, that's 1 entry, or get 10 entries by just buying our shirt, which is our newest logo. So, and it's an homage to a Fantastic Four comic book. So, we keep it real
and Supernatural,
and get ready. Yes. And Supernatural. Next month, we are going to be doing a press run at FanX Comic-Con in Salt Lake City. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, my dudes, cheers.
Cheers.
Wow! Jesus, what the hell, man?
Still in control, no overwhelming feelings of rage.
No, a normal amount of rage.
You do revert back to Gen form when you sleep.
Was the air horn really necessary?
For comedy, absolutely. This is a multi-year journey you're about to embark on.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's your best friend?
Nikki.
Spandex. Spandex is your best friend. Being a Hulk asks for balance. You have so much more to learn. Yes!
So I'm clearly nailing it at all these things.
If you want to go back to your life as a lawyer, I respect that.
He doesn't mean that.
More and more eccentric superhumans are coming out of the woodwork. We are going to launch a division for them, and I want the She-Hulk to be the face of it.
Jennifer Waters. Namaste.
I have a serious conflict of interest. This man tried to kill my cousin, Bruce.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
Oh. People only care because I'm representing Emil Blonsky. I think they care because they're like, hey, that girl's great. Jen, do your thing. God, I really like this outfit. I'm not proud of this.
Miss Walters, we answer to a higher power. Our universe is on the edge of a precipice.
I am a lawyer. We do things by the book.
The Book of Ashanti.
No, the Book of American laws.
Whether you like it or not, you're now a superhero.
Let's do this. You know that friend you had in high school who was way cooler than you were, attractive, got all the attention from everyone? Hello.
I think I'm jealous. Is that what I'm feeling?